get into Champion Select powered by Omen and HyperX as AL once again are going to get rid of the Casio. Important to note, in Game 1, FlyQuest destroyed Flandre's unbeaten record on that Rumble, gave Tarzan only his third loss of the split on the Xinshao as well. Azir banned away alongside the Casio. Same ban so far from AL. FlyQuest will get rid of the Twisted Fate. Last time they put Vi and Poppy on the bench as well.
Yeah, and I want to see what they go with for Flandre this time around. I'm kind of expecting more of like a frontline tank, like a Scion or Ornn or something like that, because Bwipo does have counter pick on red side again. And I'm assuming that AL might want to go for more like normal 5-on-5 team fighting this time around, but we shall see. As of course, still have a lot to whittle down on here. The Varus remains banned from the bottom lane, such high priority on that one, so not too big of surprises yet.
And Renekton's going to get taken off of the cards here as well by AL, so denying Bwipo his most played this spring, although he has played a retinue of different champions, and the final ban from Fly, getting rid of some of that playmaking potential for Shanks in the mid lane. Where are we looking first pick? Vi's got her way through, and she was banned out in Game 1. Ryze, instead, will be locked in for Shanks.
That's kind of what we were talking about last time around with that Casio ban. They do go into it here. Definitely a very big pick for Shanks, and that could be a lot more looks at split pushing for the team, even with just one pick showing, but see what FlyQuest here are going to respond with. They could go with some of the burst champions here. Aurora did get buffed with some extra magic resist, but much more here, opting into the control mages with the extra range here for Victor.
I love the hope from fan signs sometimes. You see all in red pen, let's go anyone's legend 3-0, and then in blue pen, 3-1. That would just adjusted debate.
Got to keep up with the times.
It's true. Victor and Vi, Arcane being locked in here for FlyQuest.
Yeah, so usually you see the more common pairing, like I was talking about with the burstier champions that are available, but still very good here as far as an initiator, and Quad is always so good on those control mages. So what's going to be the response here? Very popular pick for Tarzan.
I really like Ryze Wukong as well. The ability to deliver him onto the backline with the Realm Warp can just be so powerful. I am wondering if we'll see a top laner picked here for AL, or whether they'll just go towards AD carry and then ban out some top laners later on. It is Trundle instead of the Wukong, though.
And the Trundle, you're kind of expecting FlyQuest to pick some more beefy frontline here too in the future, since they do have the Victor, assuming they're going to want to keep him safe for those 5-on-5, so the early Trundle pick as well. Trundle also is so good at going for 1v1 invades early, and so if you do have winning lanes, if you do have pushing lanes, they can definitely go. Ooh. And this is super common here for AL. They bring back Flandre's Yorick, even though it was nerfed on this patch.
Yeah. A base armor nerf as well, which is a huge nerf.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be split pushing again. This is going to be AL pulling them across the map, or at least trying to do that.
What will Bwipo answer with? Things that are good into Yorick. Irelia, really strong into the Yorick, because you just kill the ghouls on command. Cho'Gath also works pretty well into him. Mordekaiser is going to be the lock. First time we've seen it here at MSI 2025.
All right, Bwipo's answer. Yeah, a couple of the ones you are going over are popular. Bwipo himself, actually using a couple of those within LCS. The Cho'Gath previously was a good choice for him, but also he has brought out the Mordekaiser before here, so very comfortable on that. And that does also give you some options for answering some side lanes later, because your ultimate is very good. You can buy a lot of time, and oftentimes you can, at least go 1-for-1, try and ult somebody if they try and commit to you.
It also just allows the rest of your team to collapse, because you're buying so much time in that 1v1. And it will be Kai'Sa removed by FlyQuest. They can see a little bit of a dive comp coming out from AL if they want it. Also, hope on Kai'Sa. Pretty good at the champion, unsurprisingly. Ezreal removed once again from Masu, so it does look like we're going to have AD carry focused bans as we did in Game 1.
Okay, yeah, things like the Corki still available, the Jhin still available. Pretty common options down there. Misfortune.
And Lucian's still up for Masu if he wants it. But yeah, also Kalista has made her way through. If you do want like Kalista plus Renata, it would be quite nice against a composition trying to dive onto you. Bard is the ban away from Kael.
Yeah, kind of assuming FlyQuest might want to try and like start stacking dragons, so maybe they could go dragon stacking area. But Bard is definitely a very good ban when you're facing that much split push and that much possibility there of being pulled across. So good to know.
Lucian. Yeah, Master's Lucian taken away in the end. FlyQuest likely to pick AD carry here, save the support for last, get that counter pick if you can. Callista, we mentioned it in that second phase of bans, and it does work really well with this comp.
Yeah, you go into that dragon stacking so you can try and force some 5-on-5s and force the split push to you.
I've been informed it's the first time we've seen Mordekaiser on stage internationally since Worlds 2022, where it was Impact who brought it out. He was playing on Evil Geniuses at the time, apparently. As NA just love to bring out the Mordekaiser. You'd expect it more from LTA South rather than LTA North, but AL now looking towards the Corki here for Hope. And he's brought out 8 times so far this split.
All right, what do we pair with the Corki here? Some sort of playmaking support, some sort of frontline here.
And you've got Alistair, you've got Leona. You can play Nautilus if you wanted. You go for Nico if you're just trying to get onto the back line. But if you want a little bit more tankiness, I think Alistair really rings well in this sort of situation. Poppy as well if you really want to go towards it. But does look like it's going to be the Nico here for Kaya.
Okay, yep, the nerfed Nico. Not quite as powerful in lane, but still good.
It's 0 and 5 at this MSI as well, according to the stats that came up on the screen. Final pick for FlyQuest, Callista Renata. It's so strong, it stops the engage potential with that hostile takeover. There it is, locked in for Busio.
Yeah, Busio definitely has been really good with this pairing here for the bottom lane. See if they can get any sort of dragon focus going for their team, because they do have a lot of momentum coming off of game number 1. They look calm though. They don't look too overhyped. So that is
unlike us. Yeah. We're pretty excited about the result of the first game, if only because it spells what hopefully is a close 5-game series. This time though, both compositions seem to want to do things a little bit differently. Last game, both of them wanted to get into those fights. We saw full 5v5s a lot of the time. Here, FlyQuest looking for that dragon stacking you were talking about, whereas AL, their side lane pressure later on in the game with a Yorick and with a Rise is going to be devastating.
Yeah. And so first thing that I'm going to look at when we do get into this game on Rift is going to be, are they going to move for Tarzan to have either a delayed invade or, try and get some sort of 1v1, you want to use some pushing lanes to try and go find the Vi. You definitely can have a really good early advantage over that champion. And he has done that previously.
That he has. Non-subscribers will be back in 30 seconds time. It's Tarzan. Everyone loves the panda for anyone's legend. It feels like a great mascot to have. I'm sad when teams don't have those really good mascots. Like, what's FlyQuest mascot? Do they have one? Is there a...
Yeah, a leaf.
A leaf.
It's the nature team, bro.
True.
Save the trees, save the bees, save the seas.
They could bring that back.
They've actually had so many of those environmental campaigns for the team and have done a lot of good. Planted a lot of trees. Saved a lot of bees.
And now looking to take down the first seed from the LPL as we get on into the map. As you said, looking for that Tarzan late invade possibility. At the moment, both the entrances to the jungle are warded off by FlyQuest. Doesn't mean they've invested those warding trinkets early on, but will spot Tarzan if he decides to step forward.
Also, the side lane brush ward is always important there for that matchup. Here it begins, the early information. Now, a lot of times, too, that can be looking at second Raptor spawn. So you can get your second timer there. And sometimes it is like ill-advised to start your Raptors because a 4-minute re-invade from enemy jungle could be super dangerous. And so Inspire just goes down, start his blue buff side.
Looks like both junglers will be pathing to opposite sides of the map this time, as Tarzan is also starting on his blue. Have been informed, the last time North America beat the LPL in even a single game was back in 2023 MSI, where Golden Guardians took a game off BLG, losing the series in the end. Obviously, we've talked about the fact that Team Liquid are the only North American team to ever take a best of 5 off the LPL.
Yeah. Master this time around too on such a different style champion. He was very good on the Senna really good stacking pace for him in the previous game.
Yeah.
Very good positioning. This time around, though, on Kalista. Still having to respect that power of the Nico, despite those nerfs.
Oh, Whippo trading in here. Flunder gets the level 2. The ghouls are not enough. And once again, Whippo falls for first blood.
Flandre Yorick strikes again, and he gets a solo kill. I will remind you that it did start out last game with a level 1 death.
This is a great sign for FlyQuest. I 100% agree with you. Whippo dying level 1. He didn't burn his flash this time as well.
Yeah.
So he's held on to that summoner.
Definitely not mega cope. But I mean, it really is kind of scary though if it turns into Flandre mega split push here. That has been something that they have been able to find so much success with.
So the reason Whippo goes for this is he's got 3 ghouls ready to be spawned. Sorry, Flandre has 3 ghouls ready to spawn, but he's not level 2. So Whippo's got the level advantage, thinks he can trade in. Flandre steps forward, last strikes a minion, gets that level 2, and then Whippo is pretty done for.
Yeah, and he missed his claw there as well.
It's not the best sign when a Yorick starts getting ahead in the individual 1v1. Shank's getting the push here on mid onto Quad as well, who will struggle with his wave play a little bit before he gets his Lost Chapter, before he gets a little bit of mana under his belt.
That's exactly what AL were looking for, though. So if they can get their, strong solo laners off into the mid game, that will be exactly the game plan there they want to execute. Try and open up those lanes, pull them apart, but Tarzan will be able to get double crabs because his bottom lane is pushing, goes up and grabs that one as well. His top laner died for Inspired, so Inspired, too bad.
A nice little bit of pathing from Tarzan as well. Did go top to bot, but then came back up for that top side crab. Now can path bot because, as you say, Busi and Masu are pushed in, as is Quad in the mid lane. So Tarzan will have a 2-camp advantage through the first clears, but Inspired's already back out on the map. Double longsword for him. Will be spotted by that shape splitter clone coming out from Kyle.
Man, that Corki CS lead as well this time around.
Yeah, Kyle's been hitting a lot of these blooming bursts, and it's quite hard for Masu to trade back into him. Busio going back forward is going to get rooted up though. Heals, and we'll just burn the summoner to walk away with that extra movement speed.
Nice little bounce back game for them. Let's see, should just be another reverse clear here. For Inspired. Bot side going back up top. And no further action because not super volatile down towards the mid lane, just looking for their farm. And as you said, Whippo did keep his flash even though he died up there.
It's one of those, like, if you get to level 6 as FlyQuest, you have a lot more tools, right? You have the Fate's Call coming out from Masu, Busio's Hostile Takeover, but also Cease and Desist and the Death Realm coming out from the Mordekaiser. It just gives you so many tools to work with. So not surprised at all if Inspired is just doing a full double clear, looking for those 2 camps. Masu there with a cleanse to get away from the handshake. Busio down to 200 HP though. Guardian coming back up. Kael getting chased out now. Won't have to burn the flash as the Ren. Masu flashes for the Ren, and Kael answers with the flash of his own. Hope down to 100 HP. Masu needs another couple of autos, but can't get in range for them.
Yeah, and they actually goes far enough to get the barrier down from Hope in that exchange. So 3 summoner spells down for each of the bottom lane. Hope holds onto his flash though. Also worth mentioning that AL are doing such a good job of keeping track of Inspired. That ward up by Raptors, Shanks was able to go place after he pushed in on Rise. And AL getting their CS leads in both bottom and mid with the matchups. Watching out for that vibe, making sure that there's going to be no other variable in the game that is going to surprise you in your matchup.
A couple of pings from AL coming out on this Dragon, with Inspired helping Quad push out the wave as aggressively as he was, and with the reset coming from the Fly bot lane, it kind of implies the, hey, maybe we want to just try and get a Dragon, get these waves forced in, and use that tempo advantage to sneak away the neutral. But Tarzan's in the area, Inspired backs away, and in the end, they're not going to be able to get any of those early neutrals. Yeah. It's a 1,000 gold lead for AL at the 6.5-minute mark.
They've got their priority, taking over vision control of this rush here for Dragon set up for the fight. Looks like they should be able to easily get Crab as well. So level 6 achieved. Level 6 advantage means get out of there Inspired.
And might need to burn the flash to get away from this one. Instead, the roots, the tangle barbs, just a little bit short.
That should be full priority here for AL. So Tarzan goes for that 1v1 invade. He's looking to fully chase Inspired out. They've got the pushing bottom lane, so they make use of it. Aggressive level lead there for the jungle. Inspired wants to get his level 6 off Gromp.
Kyle chucking the shape splitter out there as well, just to give that a little bit of extra vision.
Not even enough experience there off the Gromp, so.
He's like one anything away from it. Like if it was a few patches ago, we could have been one ward away from it, or last season, right? But we'll just say the Wolves will get that level 6 and then can start to look at using that cease and desist. Hope trying to get up towards level 6 himself as well. A slight CS, well, about a 3-wave CS lead for the Corki over this Kalista, but I do think there's a wave pushing in there, so Masu should be able to balance that out a little bit. Whippo's bounced back well as well in the top lane from losing that first kill. Is about 10 CS up himself.
Yeah, pushing in an extra wave here. Flandre going to use the Maiden to help collect it. And Inspired also kind of crossing over as the grubs do spawn. So it looks like they are going to start it out. Shanks realm warps back the lane though.
Yeah, Tarzan's on his way across. Inspired has hit that level 6. Ripper always has the Death Realm. Smite comes out from Inspired, will secure the first grub, and then Vault Breakers his way to safety.
Yeah, I think Tarzan might have got that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He walked up, able to get it,
away,
and he chased him out. So they'll get the full 3-pack.
You're 100% right there, Kobe.
They get their Might spawn. That is so big, Medic, for split pushing.
Yeah, 100%.
That Smite play was actually huge from Tarzan. The Mites for their Yorick and for their Rise later on, huge. That's why FlyQuest really wanted to try and sneak one and go for that play.
Just disrespectful as well, just to walk up to him and smite it away under his very nose. Inspired unable to win out on that battle. It's a 1,000 gold lead for AL. A lot of that coming from the top side. Flondo getting that first kill, obviously helping him out a lot. Doesn't want this Maiden to die. It's always a risk when you spawn it to push out the waves that you get ganked. It's then on a 2.5 minute cooldown early game. It can be very hard to actually get control of your lane once again. But he has his jungler on this side of the map as Quad trades with Shanks in mid.
And of course that Maiden is part of the reason you choose Mordekaiser there. You want to split up that duo when you go for the ult. And we'll see if that becomes one of the factors here later on into the game, even with that added benefit of the extra money that was given over early on. All of the members of AL with their gold leads at the moment that all add up and contribute to their overall advantage in the game.
Nothing surpassing 300-400 gold though, so like FlyQuest is still in an okay position to scale into this game. Obviously the Victor scaling incredibly well. The Kalista, you do want a little bit more action. You want to be able to stack up those dragons early game like we talked about in draft. You want to be able to get a few early kills, but at level 6 you still have a bit of time to really accelerate the game for her.
Farming, heading on out too. Looks like it is going to be the dragon startup. Oh no, he actually just pops over Tarzan there, pulls it out, and they
Inspired's on Razor Beaks, right? So it should be an easy enough secure here for Tarzan. No way for Inspired to get across towards this side of the map quickly enough. Will be the second neutral objective for AL as well, as obviously they've got those grubs a little bit earlier on. No real opportunity for FlyQuest to get anything else while that's happening. Often you talk about cross-map plays, you talk about doing something on the top side, but Flandre already has Sheen and Phage and the Maiden up. It's really hard to kill that Yorick unless you can really burst him down quickly.
Yeah. Always standing back, giving respect as well. Because all is going kind of according to plan there for AL with the grubs, plus the extra dragon here. Definitely going to do a lot for them as the map starts to open up, but we continue to farm, we continue to stack up on the side of FlyQuest there. Of course, Victor just looking to collect, stack up himself, continue to farm, even get some upgrades going for himself before they bring together their team fight.
Hope looking for the damage here. Won't have it. Busio about 400 HP. You can see Inspired waiting around the corner, looking to see perhaps if AL do overextend into this. Both the junglers actually tracking each other a lot through this early game, even though they started on opposite sides of the map. Season 6 going out as they look for Hope. Base call as well. Flash hostile takeover. And Hope, even with the barrier, needs another auto on Busio. He gets the redemption, but it's too late. And here comes Tarzan. 2 quick kills for Tarzan as we talk about the junglers tracking each other. Tarzan lying in wait, claims a double. Bwipo, well, yeah, the Maiden's going to kill you there. Good flash from Flandre to get out of Whippo's clutches, but across the map now, AL coming to life.
Huge wins for AL on both sides simultaneously. That is terrible news for FlyQuest. They go for their big play, investing the Vi ultimate, investing the Kalista ultimate, but they don't get it correctly. They're on the bailout. They don't get the, Busio to live, and the counter from Tarzan is better. Meanwhile, again, another solo bolo up on the top side.
And it's Whippo engaging it, thinking he can kill Flandre off quickly enough, but the Death Realm expires. That was close. Okay, you can see why Whippo thought that maybe he'd take that 1v1, but then the last rites healing, the Eulogy of the Isles, the chase down from Flandre is enough. And Whippo on the edge of getting a solo bolo for himself.
Oh yeah, and she does go with you. And then meanwhile, on the bottom side, they go for the play. They try and use the Vi into the Kalista knockup, but then they aren't able to get Kael, so they aren't able to get the reset there, and Tarzan is able to clobber them down.
The bailout just proccing just after they kill Hope as well, right?
Yeah.
Like if Hope had got that extra auto attack in, then we would have had a 3v2 situation, and maybe Busio can bail out his bot lane to save them in that situation. Now though, AL 2.5K ahead have taken firm control of this game.
Yeah, that Trinity Force Trundle bopping them down.
Yeah.
Probably either way. Tarzan here off to a very nice start.
As is Flandre, he's got his Triforce complete as well, a 1.2k gold lead on this Yorick that I don't think we really expected to be played with his base armor nerfs, with the other nerfs he's received over the last couple of patches. It is very much already a pocket pick, and when pocket picks get nerfed, often you don't see them anymore. Inspired knows that someone's sneaking away his red buff. Busio in the area as Inspired goes in with the Vault Breaker, but Tarzan's already got the smite. And AL will force Inspired away.
All right, they've got the vision fully warded up through the jungle here too. This is where it starts to become very dangerous in the rotations for FlyQuest, since they are so far behind. So far on the back foot, the Realm War could come through. Shanks though just walks over.
It's Kael actually. I know it can be confusing from time to time, as does say Shanks above his name, but Kael here looking for the Tangle Barbs will land it onto Busio. A rocket comes in from Hope as well and takes Busio down to half. The wave on its way about 10 seconds before it's there. Tarzan will spot Inspired, and Whippo coming in from the side, tries to dodge away, not hit by the Vault Breaker, puts down the Frozen Domain, and this is his turf you're playing on. There's the Realm Walk coming out from Shanks. Hostile takeover not going to connect onto AL. Masu Force, low fates call, out the bailout. Just means he dies a little later. Bwipo will manage to kill off Shanks though, as Flandre gets a double towards the top side. Tarzan will take out Bwipo, and in the end a 3-for-1 exchange in favor of AL.
Yeah, AL really nice. They get their tower down as well. They extend their gold lead, and they continue to push on the sides. On the bottom, they are at least for FlyQuest going to be able to shove in that wave, but that is so good for AL. Flandre just even wailing away on the secondary turret too, gets half of the HP.
Flandre is just so strong now on this Yorick. And if you want to be strong at home as well while you're watching the action unfold, keep an eye out for exclusive drops just for tuning into MSI. All you need to do is be logged in and watching on Loleventvods.com for a chance to score in-game loot. Inspired caught out a little bit here. The Tangle Barb's not going to connect there.
And Flandre really credited with bringing that Yorick after the rework to prominence for the top lane. You know, AL really jumping on that champion and making such good use of it. So with him plus Tarzan having some really big leads here, does look like they will be able to take over the mid game. They are poised to do it. See if FlyQuest can actually ever get a pick for themselves. They do have the Vi ultimate. But it's just going to be so hard for them to open up space. And even if they do go for it and you send, then you're going to be losing ground on the side lanes since it's an accelerated Yorick, and you do have the Rise on the other side.
Looks like it's Quad who's going to be answering Flandre towards this top side. Inspired has the cease and desist and talked about picks. This is the sort of thing you need to do if you're FlyQuest. The problem is Quad can't catch up, and Flandre respects the fact that he really doesn't know where the FlyQuest mid jungle are, so he'll just back away. Rift Herald used by Tarzan in the mid lane after they claim the Cloud Drake will be a Mountain Soul once again in this series, and with the Rift Herald charging in, I don't really think any defense can be mounted by FlyQuest. They cede control of the mid wave. The Rift Herald will charge forward. Quad here now to try and defend the tier 2. Inspired all the way over at the Wolves, so it doesn't really have a flank on right now. Rift Herald charges forward once again. AL have another wave if they want to play on it, but they decide enough's enough. We've taken the mid tier 1, we got half of the tier 2, and for now, we will rest on our laurels and go and spend our gold.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of, it's eerie because in the previous game, FlyQuest got so far ahead so quickly with a team that had really strong team fighting, and so you could kind of see where it's going. And then this time around, AL, they get so far ahead so quickly with a team that is so good at playing the sides here and keeping up the pressure onto FlyQuest that it almost feels like the reverse, even though it is a different style. But here's the attempt on the play.
Shanks flashes away, the TP coming in. Victor can stop that, he will use the Arcane Storm to do so. Shanks in the death realm now as Bripper flashes forward and will claim the kill. Here comes Kyle, the rest of his team nowhere nearby, but he lands the Tangle Barbs onto Whipper. The tower shot's not enough. Flandre unstoppable as he kills off Quad towards the top side. Tarzan was kept at bay by Busio and by Marsu, and in the end will be a 1-for-1 exchange. The handshake from Busio, Tarzan chasing forward onto Marsu. Busio, there's a good pillar behind them. The fate's call that will pull them back. Hostile takeover, not going to do enough, and Marsu and Busio should be able to walk away, but Hope has other ideas. Now underneath the tower, Brippo and Marsu can trade back onto this, and Marsu will be brought back with the bailout. Inspired, looking for Kyle. Tarzan's on his case now, on the chase now, as the pillar comes out to stop the bolt breaker. Inspired has no summoners, and in the middle of Kyle and Tarzan, he will fall.
And the entire time, Flandre is opening up the base. He takes the top tower there in the split push during the chaos. But you can see the idea from FlyQuest, they have to send to try and make a play. They have to make something happen. But AL in the end do get more gold out of it. So here's another look at the origins. You know, Inspired trying to get something going. Here's what's
really good as well from Quad. Using the Arcane Storm, I assume. There we are. Cancels the channel, and at that point you think this is great for FlyQuest.
Yeah, but then you have the Nico coming down and just barely locking up Whippo here under the tower range, so he gets so much damage done that then they have to have a little bit of peel here, and you can see once they get the Corki to walk down, they have full confidence to go for it. Get the handshake over, Tarzan runs straight down towards Masu here. The mini-map, of course, is where a lot of the damage is getting done as the bloodbath on the bottom side gets crazy with the ultimate used and Hope flashing in.
Masu coming back with the bailout as well. Well played by Busio to put that on just before he died to make sure the Masu would come back to life, but still AL extend their gold lead to 6K. 22 seconds before we have the Atakan spawning, and it's going to spawn in bot lane, but honestly, where did action happen in the first 14 minutes of this game? It has been only in the last few that things have really accelerated. Second item complete for Hope. He's got the Mana Moon stacking up. Spear alongside a chain vest for Flandre. He almost has a 700 gold bounty on his shoulders. The Spirit Visage as well for Tarzan. Like, they're just going to be so difficult to kill. And the idea of finding a pick in a side lane, killing off the Yorick, finding a little bit of gold becomes that much harder when the enemy team starts to get these defensive stacks and they're already ahead.
Yep, definitely true. Like AL, they can just move into your jungle, remove all vision, make it so dangerous for you to check over here for FlyQuest. They still have their outer tower on the bottom side to try and mount some defense from, but it is so dangerous and so dark here. So AL just going to start it up with the big gold lead that they have.
And there's always the risk with an Atakan. It does reduce your resistances. Inspired looking to see perhaps if there's a little cheeky angle by which he can get in. Kyo using the shape splitter to give a little bit more vision. There's the Atakan secured for AL. In the end, it was routine for them, even though FlyQuest were posturing around it. Now they're looking for this tier 1 in the bot side. FlyQuest will begin to back away, realizing they just don't have the manpower. They just don't have the items to defend.
Yeah, they make the call. You got to go cross map. They can't fight, so recognize that. They just want Whippo to at least try and get the objective bounty shutdown on the other side of the map.
See if you can get that tower, which Whippo should be able to do. Has a cannon wave there and already has his Riftmaker and the Rylai's finish, so his auto attack's doing that. A little bit more damage. Inspire's going to shadow him. Might as well try and steal away some of this jungle, especially since you know, with only 2 seconds on the Mountain Drake, that's likely where AL are going to path out. You can see Tarzan already on that side of the map. Is running towards top though, so maybe he is going to make a fool out of me, as he seems to just be trying to deny Inspired everything he can, knowing that you can always just come back to that Drake if you need, or you can just let Yorick do it. Basically 2 champions for the price of 1 when he has that Maiden up.
Yep. Looks like they are going to teleport just to send for it, though, even though they're down.
Oh, Busio there. Kyle trying to step forward. There's a TP in from Whippo, the Maiden. First target. Marsu's going to get chased down by Tarzan, though, as the chomp comes out. Marsu nearly cleanse the Fate's Call used as well to get Busio to safety. Then Blastcone's Inspired across, and with those ultimates used, with that sequence of plays, FlyQuest will just back away. AL will get themselves on Soul Point with a 6,000 gold lead, as FlyQuest really found wanting through this mid-game.
Yeah, AL just completely taking over when they did get that advantage. And now, this Rise here, only 2 more stacks on the Rod of Ages to tick over. Shank's gonna get his extra level bonus. They've got all the dragons stacked up, so an easy path towards that soul as well. And topside, having that top inhibitor already down means the opposite side of the map is well open.
Yeah, expect to see Flandre just in side lanes, making sure that he has a little bit of vision around him. Kyle can shadow him for a little bit just to get a couple of wards into that side of the jungle. As you can see, FlyQuest trying to deny some of that vision because picks are all they have going for them right now. If they can find, you know, a good Death Realm into a cease and desist, maybe they can kill off Flandre, and then that's a huge gold injection for someone. It's not enough to even out the game, but if Masu gets it, even if Inspired or Whippo gets it, perhaps you can start to swing some of that side lane threat. For now, though, AL doing it by the numbers. Get in, push the vision forward, make sure you have prio in the 2 lanes you're playing around, which they do, top and mid. And FlyQuest have to play so defensively through their own jungle, taking the longer routes, making sure they're safe to try and get some vision down of their own.
Yep, they are praying right now for some sort of opening. But so far, AL not giving it to them. Look at the mini-map. Again, you saw Inspired down there. It's kind of looking, maybe they could try and make a play onto Flandre. Maybe you can try and pick off one of those side lanes. But Flandre also not giving them that play, so now turning their sights towards the mid.
And maybe catching Tarzan as he tries to gate you off from rejoining your team is an option. The problem is, obviously, Kyle and Hope can react a lot quicker to this play than to one in that bot side. For now, though, FlyQuest unable to find purchase on this mid-game. Inspired looking to see if Flandre oversteps, but even if he does, that's a 4-level lead for the Yorick over the Vi. Tarzan even 2 levels up against his lane opponent. Whippo caught out with the pillar. There's the root as well. As Whippo goes down to half HP, flashing away in the end. We'll get the shield. Tarzan with that subjugate doing a huge amount of work. The wave pushed in. Meanwhile, Hope is getting mid-wave in as well, and FlyQuest will be too slow to respond to that. They also have to think about the top inhibitor because that's beginning to be hit by the minions. Tarzan chasing Inspired. Bolt Breaker. Inspired's on the wrong side of this wall, and he might have to flash to get out. Kaya with the double knocker with the Pot Blossom hostile takeover. Hits onto no one. Hope flashing away from Masu, who's on the chase with a face call as well. And perhaps Masu and Busio have found a bit of the fight they were looking for. The Ren comes out. Masu will take down one, gets the bailout as well, but FlyQuest can't find more. Busio walking away wounded, flashes to safety. The Realmwork looking to chase him as Busio thought he could fancy feed away from it, but the Rune Prison in the end is enough to kill him off. AL find 3. They lose their AD carry, sure, but it looks like they're going to add a little bit more to that skill score. Whippo in the middle of 3 members of AL will try and kill off Tarzan, but Tarzan can flash the wall, and Whippo doesn't have that same luxury. Flandre now dominating 6-0-0 on Yorick.
Yeah, massive with his iconic pick there, and it is going to be the Baron for sure for AL. Absolutely crushing this game in similar fashion. I mean, it's almost like here we go. We're trying to make a big play, but there's no way for him to get past Kyle.
How'd you get in, Mike?
I mean, it's kind of like FlyQuest. They don't really have any other options, so trying to send for the miracle.
A weakness of a comp that picks really well when the people you're trying to kill off are just so much stronger than you, right? They've never been able to find a catch onto Flandre. Shanks as well, yeah, he has died a couple of times this game, but he's not really been the focus. It's been very much about how Flandre is able to play, and sometimes when you look for picks, it can put you in awkward positions like this.
Yep, and so inside the jungle here, looking for the play, you know, FlyQuest want to try and find something, but just a really better response here from AL. Jumping on Inspire, taking him down first. Then in the mid lane, even though the Corki goes down, nowhere left for the rest of the team to run.
Very reminiscent of the fights in game one, except going in the opposite direction. It's like, yes, you can make some good plays, you can find some good catches, but the health bars are just too big for you to work with right now.
Yeah.
AL with that Baron buff for the next 2 minutes, going to push in through this bot side. FlyQuest have 3 members on the top side. They were looking for that tier 2, looking for those objective bounties, but couldn't quite find them. And now, anyone's Legend have 2 waves pushing in. They've already taken an inhibitor in this bottom lane. The top lane inhib is open for them as well. They take the inhibitor tower in mid. The root's going to land onto Bwipo as Tarzan continues to wail away, and Bwipo is sent to an early grave by Shanks. Triple inhib is on the cards here for AL if they want it, but they might just look for the Nexus towers. FlyQuest a man down now trying to defend, and I think really Flandre could do it all himself. Double pop Blossom into the hostile takeover. Flandre is going to turn around and start hitting his own teammates, but it doesn't really matter because now he dashes back forward, flashes in, gives FlyQuest their last rites. Read out the eulogy as we go to 1-1.
AL bouncing right back in game number 2 with a dominating performance of their own.
And it was dominant. It was a stomp from FlyQuest into a stomp from AL.